Hello, good morning, everyone, and welcome to class. In this cybersecurity analyst course, we're talking about firewalls, what firewalls are, and how it can be used today. Firewalls essentially are a form of network security device that monitors and blocks traffic based on set of rules that is given to it. So we could say firewalls monitor and control network traffic. They allow it or they block it based on specific defined rules. So it's more like a firewall is like, I always call it, a simple wall that kind of defines who come in. Think about a security officer that allows people to come in based on security. Maybe like a bouncer that tells you, oh, check your ID card or checks your registration number or whatever it is you use to register for an event. He checks it, then it now allows you to come in. So that's how the firewall is. It blocks or accepts traffic based on specific rules. So the rules determine what it allows. Now, firewalls worked with ports for determining what it allows or not. And for communication to occur, firewalls need to know what the ports really have. For example, the port 25 is for emails, and port 800 is for HTTP, whereas port 443 is for HTTPS. So it can decide to allow port 443 and port 25 and block the rest. So it means someone that is trying to access from HTTP, not just hypertext transfer protocol, won't be allowed, except you have a secure, that's HTTPS. So it needs to verify the certificate. So it allows port 443. So that's the way it works. It works by allowing or blocking depending on the set of rules that's given to it. There are different forms of firewalls, really. Firewalls could be hardware firewalls. We could have software firewalls, and we could also have cloud-based firewalls. Now cloud is now the thing. So we could basically have cloud as a service for different security devices, security network devices. So firewalls can come in as hardware firewalls. This one are probably the first set of firewalls that have been used. They basically are physical devices that inspect each data packet before it enters the network, and they provide a basic level of network defense. So this is a physical firewall that tries to inspect each data packet. Remember that a data packet, we've talked about this before, I think when we're discussing the TCP/IP model, a data packet consists of maybe a header. It consists of a header and a payload. So the header will consist of the source and destination port. So it tells you where is the source of this and where it's going to. Then we have the payload. Basically, it checks to see the header to see if it actually contains the set of information that is allowed to enter or not. Now, software firewalls, this is not a physical firewall. This is more like a program installed on a computer. This one is a firewall that generally allows traffic based on set of rules also. So, but the only difference is, just like software is always much more cheaper than a hardware. So this one is less expensive and safe and cost than hardware firewalls. Then we have cloud-based firewalls, which is now the thing now, where we have firewall as a service. So this is where we have cloud-based providers that are able to protect devices on site and off site. So this, we have a third party like a cloud-based provider. So it's more like, I don't know if you've ever heard about Cloudflare before. If you've done a little bit of software or web development or software development, you will have heard about Cloudflare, or even have dealt with database. Cloudflare is more of the cloud firewall that is able to block incoming or external or internal traffic traffic based on the rules. So in Cloudflare, you can even set rules of which traffic you want and which traffic you don't want. So Cloudflare is more like an effective way. And so there are many other service providers, and AWS has its own that give firewall as a service. So they help to protect your devices, they help to protect your system, your data, and all of that, based on specific set of rules. So the software firewalls are hosted in the cloud. So when we talk about hosted in the cloud, it's not like they are hosted in the sky. Really, they are hosted in virtual locations. So you don't have physical locations, hosted in virtual locations. And so it's for some people it pays for organizations, especially when you're a small startup and you don't have the heavy resources to be able to get a physical firewall. Then cloud-based firewall could be better, because you pay as you use, you pay as the company grows. So it's not like you have to get a very massive amount of money to be able to install a firewall. So it protects all incoming traffic before it reaches the organization network, and including the cloud-based asset. Another thing to now note now is basically the two types of firewall that we have. We have the stateless firewalls and we have the stateful firewalls. So let's explain what these two firewalls does. The stateless firewalls is a kind of firewall that yes, they operate in specific set of rules that have been configured, but the challenge with stateless is it doesn't keep track of the context of the data packet. So they only act according to the administrator rules and settings. So they are not as secure as stateful firewalls. So yes, they work on set of rules, but they don't keep track of the context of a data packet, and that could be dangerous. Whereas stateful firewalls keep track of the state of the network connections. They also analyze traffic for suspicious characteristics of behavior. So stateful firewall is better because they actually keep track of the contents of the data packet, and they could identify anything that is wrong. So the advantage is for stateful, firewalls accept based on set of rules, and then those rules are quite important. So imagine that you are accepting at a particular port number and particular port IP address and stuff. So if a threat actor could be able to understand this process, it could be able to mask an address, which is not a real address, and it can be able to pass through. So we don't want just to be able to allow it based on a set of rules. We want it to be able to track what's inside the packet. Just like a security man that tells you get to the gate, he allows people based on a particular set of cloth. So he tells the instruction is anyone that wears, like in some weddings, anyone that wears this asha, okay, this color of cloth and this color of cloth is our people, allow them in. So that's the rules you're working with. So imagine that someone decides to pretend as a member and comes in that same cloth, the person will pass through. Now, next generation firewalls is even more, this is kind of the new generation we have now. This one offers greater security than the stateful firewalls itself. And because they include stateful inspections, they include deep packet inspection, intrusion prevention systems, and they often connect to cloud-based threat intelligence. So all we are concerned at cybersecurity analysts is to be able to have a proactive form of intelligence, not when a thing happens that we begin to now find a way to block the threats and all of that. We need to also be proactive to be able to block the threat before it even comes in the first place. So next generation firewalls are the thing now. So I believe you've learned a little bit about firewalls. So tell me what you learned about firewalls. Firewalls, essentially work by set of rules that it allows, and then they restrict communication to specific port numbers. We can have three: hardware firewalls, software firewalls, and cloud-based firewalls. Then we have them categorized as stateful firewalls or stateless firewalls. So stateless doesn't keep track, stateful keeps track. I think that's easy enough for you to understand. All right, thank you. Join me in the next class as we talk about VPNs.